Hey everybody, this is Daniel with Grin Gaming. What's up? We're going to be doing a video on how to texture a sphere today. You'll learn a couple other pieces of the Maya program and mainly learn how to, like I said, texture a sphere. We'll do a little bit of animation, things like that. So let's get started. First things first, be in Maya, and it should open up pretty similarly to this. Go ahead and create a sphere. I have it set so that when I create a polygon primitive, it is not interactive, which means that, like for instance, if I made this sphere, since it's interactive, I'm going to drag to create the sphere. So I like to just have it start in the center and then I work on it from there. So to do that, you just go polygon primitive, interactive creation, toggle it off, and then you're good to go. So there's our sphere. Gonna make it bigger. You go to your channel box layer editor on the side, and then we have scale here, and we also have the inputs for the polysphere. And I'm going to make it, I don't know, bigger, 10 times bigger. It's pretty big. So that's good. Up here we have our smooth shade all, which right now we can see through it. Pretty much what this is going to do is allow us to just see the sphere. If you want to see the grid like that, that's the wire grid. So I'm just going to leave it like that, and then when I click on it I can see it. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the UVs real quick. So if you had seen the video where I textured a rectangle, we actually had to delete the UVs, and then we made them, and then we sewed them together and all that. But spheres being more complex, the program actually does a good job of creating a UV of the sphere. The way that we're working on this sphere is with a sawtooth pattern. If you see here, it's sawtooth, like a saw. And that's so that when it wraps around, all these points are all going to end up touching, and it creates this up here. So anyways, that's how that looks. We're not actually gonna change this at all, so you can just minimize that or close out of it. So let's go ahead and get our texture for this. Go to Google, type in earth texture in the images. You know, this one seems pretty good, so I'm going to use this one. This is how I get the images. I don't know if there's a better way. Save image. Save the image. Alright, so how do we add the image to our sphere? Let's go ahead and go. This is right click. You can right click on the sphere, and then go ahead and go assign new material. And as you can see, there's tons of stuff in Maya, and all we're going to deal with today is Lambert, because we don't want the earth to be shiny. If you see this, it's a Blinn is shiny. Lambert is a flat, like matte color. So choose that. Go ahead, and up here you can see we have our various places where things can happen. You can transform it here. This is for stuff that honestly I don't know much about. This is that channel box editor thing that I had showed you, but in the attribute editor here. And then Lambert is our color. The other way, you can always just go material attributes, and that'll bring us to here. So on the color area, you can see we can actually go ahead and change the colors. You know, you can do whatever you want with this. It's pretty cool, but not what we're really looking for. So go over here, this checkered box, and then again, Maya has an unbelievably large amount of stuff that you can work with, but all we're going to work with right now is our file that we downloaded. So go here to the folder. That's where we will get our image from. That's the one that I got. Earth 2. Open it. And so now it loaded. That's the sample. You can rename this. It's always good if you're working on big projects to name everything. This isn't big, but There you go. So we can't see it right now, and that is because this is not turned on, and this is textured. So once you click that, boom, textured earth. Pretty cool, right? This is like a widget that lets you move around, right? Like a pivot thing. Or you can just hold Alt, left click, drag around, middle mouse button, hold it down, drag out and in. Yeah, so let's get rid of the grid because we don't really need it. So we got rid of the grid. As we're looking at this, if you look, it kind of looks like it's I'm gonna say an n-gon, an n-gon, because I don't know how many sides this is. I think it's 20. But you can see that it's got straight edges, and that's no good for an Earth, or for our Earth. So we can go to Channel Box Editor, we can go here, or Attribute Editor, and we can go here. So let's just go here. Subdivisions is that 20 sides that I was just talking about. See them? You can see like the edges. So if we ramp that up to there, much less edges, and you can keep going, whatever. This increases the size of the file because it has many more sides, but it's just one sphere, so it's not a big deal here. And so there is our Earth. Right now we can see if we hit the render button. Sorry, I need to get a new computer. So there it is, and it shows you all the stuff. That's the Earth. What else? If we wanted to animate this, what we would do is go down here to our timeline, and let's just set a number like 360 because, you know, we're going to spin it in a circle because it's an Earth. And then, yeah, so what this is, this allows you to show fewer or more of the frames. It doesn't delete them, it just shows. So like if you want to be able to get in here and see like the frames, you don't want it to be all super tiny. So if it was 1,000 frames, you know, it gets harder and harder to see. So let's just go back 360. You can also edit here to show the full or to specify an exact number. Alright, now to animate this, make sure you're in the first frame here, and let's toggle this off. It might not be on, it might not be off, I don't know. It's on when it's red, it's off when it's not. So while it's off, and if we're clicked and we have selected this in object mode, go to the channel editor, and let's go ahead and leave it where it is. And then to set the key, so you know, wherever you're going to want to set your first key, make sure you set one, even if it's at the 0 point. Hit S, and then you'll see a little red line. You can right click on the red line to cut it if you want to move it somewhere, copy it, and then you can paste it, you can delete it, you can do a bunch of other stuff. This is all related to the actual playing of the timeline. So we have our key. It disappeared because I clicked off of the object, click back on, and then let's go ahead and go over here. Now I'm going to click this and turn on auto toggle keyframe, and when you do that, if I go up here, we're going to rotate on the y-axis. As you can see, the Earth will rotate there. So in the 360th frame, I want to rotate on the y-axis so it spins like a top, and 360. Now since I am in the auto keyframe, anytime that I make an adjustment to this, I just hit W so that I can get the widget, and then I hit plus to make it big. Anytime that I make an adjustment to this, it will automatically keyframe that adjustment. So depending on what you're doing or how you want this to work out, that is what you want to do. So I'm going to delete that one because I don't want it. So now if we hit play, our Earth will spin. That's spinning. Let's see, playback speed, real time, active, playback loop. So if you want it to continuously loop, You just hit continuous and then it'll play through and then start again. So that is the Earth. That is the Earth animated, and then that's pretty much it. If we go and we look over here and we click on this, to stop the playback you can hit escape or just stop over here. If we look at this, you can see that it is a lot harder to look at now, but the way that they made this texture, what they did at the top and the bottom is simply made this white area. They did a pretty good job. As you can see, it all looks good, but since it's a sawtooth pattern, just for convenience I'm going to cut this down. Since it's a sawtooth pattern, you can see how it could become messed up if you're basing it off of if you're not basing it off of the fact that these are going to touch and this part here is irrelevant. It's not going to show. So there is the Earth. That's pretty much it. It's really pretty simple to texture a sphere in Maya because it does most of it for you. When you're done, you just save it, all that good stuff. Just wanted to get a video out, being lazy. So anyways, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Stick around. I'm going to texture a cylinder next, and then I'm going to texture a complex object after that. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and see you next time. Bye.